job and you start doing what we trained to do. Otherwise, don't come back to this fucking corner. Yeah.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Haye, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. It's time for This Week in Boxing, where we try to give you all the reviews, news and information happening in boxing this week. Let's get started quickly. Last night's fights. GGG.
Great.
One word.
It's great. Yeah, we've already done that. Yeah.
Waters.
Fantastic.
Okay, let's start with the news. I'm going to start with Golden Boy and Richard Schaefer. And something I've heard which was really shocking. Have you heard of a key man clause before?
Never heard of it in my life.
Basically, when Richard Schaefer was signing all these guys, I heard Robert Guerrero's got it and Deontay Wilder, that the key man clause means that if Richard Schaefer leaves Golden Boy, it makes the contract null and void.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Honestly.
If that is true, Oscar De La Hoya deserves every penny of that 50 million he's suing him for.
Yeah. You just... Schaefer's a dodgy...
Yeah.
Is he Swiss?
Yeah.
He's a Swiss banker. That says it all then, to be fair. He's a dodgy Swiss banker.
That's what
Well, you change that banker to a W.
Sticking with Golden Boy and with Deontay Wilder, RocNation offered $2 million for Deontay Wilder to fight Stevern in the first part of a 5-fight deal, which obviously would have went up if Wilder won. And apparently it's been turned down because Al Heyman has the final say, even with this key man clause contract, even with the final say with his fighters. Our fighters turned down ridiculous money just to please Al Heyman.
Of course they are.
First it was Quillin, now it's Wilder.
The funny thing is, when Quillin threw that belt in the bin, no one kind of understood the background behind it. Now, Wilder and Stevern have been negotiating, it seems like, for about 4 months now.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, why is it stalling? Why is it stalling? I mean, look, it's not going to go to purse bids and all that. This is why it's been stalling.
Yes.
Now we know it's why it's been stalling.
Apparently, the $2 million contract he was offered is more than 10 times his highest purse.
There you go.
More than 10 times, and he's still not signing it. It seems to me that we're, as Floyd always says that you got to be in control of your own team. These fighters are not in control of nothing around them, because who in their right mind would turn down 2 million, 1.4 million when you're not even making nothing close to that type of money?
Yeah,
you need to take control of their lives. Yeah. Another thing with Golden Boy, I'm sticking with Golden Boy right now. Do you know that 2 of their major stakeholders in Golden Boy asked to get bought out by their contract, and Oscar had to buy them out? AEG is one of them, and another one, I can't remember the other one, but basically they wanted their money back. And the reason why they were only in the company was because they were friends of Schaefer previously. So Oscar had to dip into his own pockets and buy them back. But apparently now, Oscar De La Hoya owns 88%. Now with the new buyout, he owns 88% of Golden Boy. Schaefer owns something like 7 or 8%, and Hopkins owns the remaining 4 or 5%. Those are the roughing splits for Golden Boy right now.
Interesting. Is David Haye, is he or not he trying to get himself, or is Eddie Hearn trying to get him on what seems like
pay-per-view track,
badly sold pay-per-view fight? It seems like the fight's not selling the numbers they want, and rumours on Twitter, but everyone's talking about David Haye trying to be on there, trying to even get Groves on there. I mean, again, this talks about, it's like one of those cards where you're going to have depth, but you're not going to have much substance. And I feel that's what's happening right now.
David Haye's a big name,
massively,
and and to be fair, he was the king of the UK pay-per-view market for a while. But the fights were not doing what they're supposed to do. They will want to integrate him back into that thing because he's accustomed to that type of money, and it shows. Even though there were letdowns, they do sell well. So I think as a promotional aspect and as a promoter, they will want to get him back in there. Do the fans want him back in there? I don't think so. On that type of market, they want to see some free fights with him and see if he's fighting the right people as of now.
I agree, but if a pay-per-view is already set up and it's not for him, then why not chuck David Haye on there if you can? Because let's be honest, I'd tune into watching that all day. Even if he's fighting a bum, I'd watch David Haye.
You need to get him on there, so it's a boost to the card. And like I said, it's a boost to the card, not to the event. I'll
tell you something now as well. This kid Galahad Scott Quiff thing starting to build a bit.
It is cool. I've got it on here as well.
It makes me laugh actually, because Joe Gallagher, who I like, but he's almost turned into like the English Freddie Roach a bit. Now he said, okay, Galahad's not ready, it's an easy fight. Take the fight if it's easy. Scott Quick's opponents pulled out. Kid Galahad said, look, I'll fight on short notice. Fight Kid Galahad if it's easy. I hate the statements when people say it's an easy fight. I mean,
I reckon the only problem you have with that fight right now is that the way Hennessy wanted it was in Dubai on the 6th of December, and blah blah, and it was his type of show with his stakeholders. He would not want to put Kid Galahad on the matchroom card. I think sometimes we've got to look to the sport a little bit more deeper and say, look, yes, the fighters want the fights, but you do have promotional entities. You do have other commitments. These guys that put the £400,000 up for the fight want it in Dubai. They don't want it with Matchroom. I
agree, but Gid Galahad, as much as I like him out there right now, he is not known at all.
Yeah.
Not even known in boxing circles. So the chance to get him on a pay-per-view card which is going to be seen by roughly, I don't know, 300,000–400,000 people, you got to grab those kind of opportunities. And the chance to win a world title, even if you don't make the money, even if you lose your Channel 5 commitments, you've got to take.
Billy Joe Saunders offered Chris Eubank £20,000 to sidestep his fight. We were at the press conference, we were all there, we heard all the back and forth with it. I think it was a fair offer. Do you think, you know, with the risk of injury, risk of delays, risk of anything that can happen within a fight, is it worth risking the fight 4 weeks before the big one?
No, and that's the simple answer, to be fair. Look, we interview both of them, and you know, when you're interviewing them, it's kind of hard to argue with them and say, what are you doing? That's silly, that's stupid. But really it is. I mean, it's a fight 4 weeks. Most people will even take down sparring 4 weeks out, do you know what I mean? 2 weeks out. So to think you're going to have a fight, even if it's against a bum, all it takes is hitting him wrong, and you kind of break a knuckle, you break, you injure a wrist, the thumb. You know what I mean? The offer's fair. There doesn't need to be an offer. Sometimes it just needs to be a case of, look, why do you need to have that fight 4 weeks? Like, you don't need that fight.
Let's go with some Mayweather news. The Ratman brothers. They're suing Floyd Mayweather for this apparent fight with the British kid. I
find it embarrassing. That really. The sons of a former heavyweight champion would do that, if I'm honest with you. Junior wanted the fight. He got his ass weak.
Senior, and the big brother begged for the fight.
And then the British guy was like, no, I'm tired, I don't want it. Whoa, you're going to fight me? You're obviously trying to impress Mayweather, but I find it embarrassing, and I feel like someone's advised them wrongly, and honestly, they should be embarrassed. They should get all the abuse they can get.
I think Mayweather puts him in certain situations sometimes, and I feel like, guess what? He should know better. On this situation, I back him 110%. He's done nothing wrong, I'm trying to say. I think it was wrong to have the fight. It was a fake fight, apparently. It worked 30 minutes. I believe the rules were wrong, what happened, but him as a person, those guys made the fights themselves. He didn't make the fight. So why is he getting involved in it? Because it's in his gym.
Minus cameras, that probably goes on in so many gyms up and down. Not 31 minutes, but everyone talks about 10-minute spars and 10-minute rounds and people coming in and you stay in and different sparring partners, all that happens all over the place.
Another thing with Floyd Mayweather, one of Mayweather's so-called friends, Stephen A. Smith from ESPN's First Take. Been going a little back and forth about Mayweather's next opponent, and Mayweather was quite brutal in what he said about Stephen A. Smith and boxing people in general, just as critics in general. And I thought it was a little bit of a dig from Mayweather, because Stephen A. Smith has been supporting Mayweather 100%. And kissing his ass
and Skip Bayless go back and forth. He goes, for years he backs him.
And all he said was, I'm trying to say that he thinks, what I think, and I think what most boxing fans think, if you've got 2 fights left in your contract, you should fight the 2 most viable guys out there, not Amir Khan. That's not a diss to Amir Khan. But if you've got 2 fights left, and it's the Pacquiao fight and the Cotto fight, or the Pacquiao fight and the GGG fight, or Pacquiao fight and Canelo, those are bigger fights. Why go for the smaller fights with 2 fights left?
There is this element, and Floyd's almost created it now, where everyone says, basically, you take the easiest fight for the biggest payday. And look, I get that, but don't wear the TBE hat then. If you're going to do that, take that TBE hat off.
Floyd said, I'd give the fans what they want. Ain't the fans been asked for this fight with Pacquiao for 5 years? That's the fight that people want. And that's not just a fight for boxing fans, that's for the general public want to see the fight. You're right. I don't see why. And then for him to push on Stephen A like that, I thought it was a little low.
So what WBO, unfortunately, have kind of not sanctioned the rematch between Paul Smith and Arthur Abraham. And I agree with it. Look, the scores were wide, I get that. He didn't win the fight for me though. He lost, but I think by 1 or 2 rounds. So if they were to sanction a rematch, can you imagine what would happen after every fight that was close? Everyone would have said, no, I want a rematch. I want a rematch. I thought a rematch would have been nice because it was a good fight, but you're 100% right. Once you start doing it, you set a standard, which everyone goes and says they want to do the same thing. Imagine scores that are 116, 140, 116. The guys will say, look, watch it again, watch that fight again, tell me if I get a rematch. It happens all the time.
Like I said, that's why my favourite word in boxing right now is be fair to the sport. And that is how you got to do it, being fair to the sport.
Good thing for him, and luckily for him as well, they've kept him at number 5 in the ranking, so one more fight, it'll be mandatory anyway.
Also this week, Emmanuel Burton being shot. The world's a dangerous place out there. And you know, I would never agree with everyone getting shot or getting hurt anyway, but to shoot someone in the back of their head from behind, I mean...
Look, I mean, fighters are not averse to anything other than any human being. Although we might think they're kind of superheroes. It's weird though, obviously Kell Brook, like last month, stabbing Jamie Moore, shot, what, 8 times in Marbella. I mean, it's just strange how it seems to be happening quite frequently recently as well. Vernon Forrest dying a few years back, being shot.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, everyone's just got to be a lot more careful.
You know, violence is violence, and that, you know, and it's a violent world.
Bloody fist.
It's a violent world.
You think that's what it is? Because they're boxers, people know they have to go with weapons.
They know they can't go into a fist fight with them. Same with Trevor Burbick in Jamaica. Yeah. He was by his nephew. I think it was something, an axe in the back of the head or something like that. I mean, the point I'm making is that, like, it's a dangerous world and it's not nice, but, like, again, always these cheap, coward from behind type moves. They apparently got a suspect now, so hopefully
charges, jail, long time, done.
Exactly. What we got here? Kevin Johnson, Kingpin. He wants Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. I rarely dislike fighters. Yeah, everyone might say, but he disliked Quillen. I actually think I dislike Kevin Johnson a bit. I just find him. He is fraudulently taking a career as a boxer. Yeah. That right now he is not. I mean, he has the worst. I think you mentioned it before. He has the worst output for any heavyweight I've ever seen.
Skill-wise, technically, he's a good fighter, but he's got no desire, no aggression, no input to put into a fight. Yeah. And you know, you wouldn't want to put Joshua in someone like Kevin Johnson right now because obviously levels of experience. But I tell you what, yeah, I say you should put him in there because I think Joshua will do a number of Kevin Johnson's quite quick.
I think Joshua will smash him.
Yeah, I remember seeing he can't sit on. He thinks Kevin can sit on the ropes and do that for 10 rounds with Anthony Joshua.
I remember, and I don't think he's got the power to hurt Joshua that much either. No. I remember him in prize fighter where everyone thought he might school it because it's 3 rounds. He might just school his way to the win, and he got beat in the final, I think it was. Yeah. And since then, fights with Tyson Fury, he's looked so ridiculous against both of those that it's just not even a fight worth taking. He's just a sparring partner for me now.
Yeah, I mean, I've had enough of Kevin Johnson. I mean, like I said, I think he's very skillful, but like I said, he clearly doesn't want it.
Obviously, talking about Joshua, obviously Dylan White coming back. Every time you say Joshua, Dylan White now, you say Anthony Joshua because of that footage that got leaked somehow.
How can it got leaked like a month before
he comes off his ban?
Gets off his ban?
It's just such a coincidence, isn't it? Wow. It's good though, because I mean, young British heavyweights, he's not that young anymore, unfortunately, but he's still being called for sparring against top people. He was in Klitschko's camp, wasn't he? So they know he's still got a lot to work
I like Dylan White. I've met him a few times before. Lovely guy, and I'm trying to say he's got skill, he's got some size on him as well. He compete with the modern heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, he is a modern heavyweight. Yeah,
he's compete with the modern heavyweight. And I'm trying to say, apparently, as you said, he's been in sparring camp, he's been training, so he's not in bad shape. He just needs to go out there and, you know, get his feet wet again. And I think it's a valid addition and a good addition to the heavyweight division in the UK.
No, you're right. Again, on the Anthony Joshua subject, obviously we spoke about it last week after his win, about the rumours about him and David Price probably getting it on. Yeah. It seems to have got a lot more heat on Twitter recently. A lot of people are talking about it. And I think people are kind of mixed on it. A lot of people, I think, have very short memories to what David Price was. David Price was Anthony Joshua 2 years ago. David Price still is Anthony Joshua in a sense, whereas there's no shame losing to Tony Thompson. Yeah. Now, I mean, Tony Thompson doesn't lose to bad guys. Tony Thompson is a top 10 heavyweight. Yeah. I mean, let's not be fooled. David Price is 6'9", 250 pounds. Yeah. The guy could box. Yeah, the guy could box. The guy's got power. And I'm trying to say, yes, Joshua is very impressive, but you know, there's no use rushing this type of fight because one of them will be damaged at the end of the fight. Yeah, I think people forget David Price's punching power. Yeah. Everyone that Joshua has knocked out and the way Joshua has done it, David Price equally would knock him out the same way. Like you say, Anthony Joshua also has fought guys that are considerably smaller than him. It's funny because you get fighters in like the smaller weight classes where 7 pounds is so much. What about 30 pounds and 40 pounds in the heavyweights? You're talking about a guy that Joshua's a huge man. That David Price is considerably bigger than Joshua. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it and say, guess what? Yes, the Joshua train's going. I'm on the Joshua train as well. Yeah. But I ain't got the David Price train either. I agree. I think David has tremendous talent. I think he's going to go somewhere. They just rushed him too quick. Yeah, they rushed him too quick and they gave him the Tony Thompson rematch far too quick, and that was the problem. Last quick news bits and bobs. Amir Khan's fighting Guerrero, not what seems to be signed. I think it's 90% there. Yeah. Good for Khan. I mean, Guerrero, former champion, not a natural 147 pounder, but then again, Norris Khan. Yeah, Norris Khan, but Mayweather fought him, so. I don't know what's happened to Guerrero. Yeah. I really don't know what's happened to Guerrero. Guerrero is a prime example of don't jump the weights. He went from 135 to 147, and for some reason he forgot about 140. Yeah, exactly. He's a 140 guy at best for me. He's really just gone far too far. I think it's a good fight. That's it. Mayweather fought him, and Mayweather takes credit for it. So Khan will fight and take credit for it. I would like to say Khan and Alexander, but I think that's a risk for Khan. That is a risky fight. That is a very risky fight. Donovan George versus John Pascal apparently been signed for early December as well. He's been begging Donna Stevenson, who seems to be turning from Superman to like, I don't know, someone's Invisible Man. Kryptonite. Yeah, Invisible Man. We can't find him nowhere. Last one from me.
I saw Paul Williams, the puncher Paul Williams, in his wheelchair hitting the heavy bag. I thought that was inspirational.
He's so courageous because obviously mentally, I never knew where Paul Williams was before the accident.
Yeah.
And it shows how strong he actually is. To go through what he's gone through, I mean, any just normal guy walking the street has that kind of accident. But when you're at the pinnacle of your sport, you're an athlete. So you know you're used to using your legs, and they get taken away from you, and he still can smile. Wow.
What I took out of the video was the smile and the laughter. That was a happy man.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sad guy or a depressed guy. That was a happy guy. You know what I mean? And like half people, the majority of people in the world go through injuries like that, find it very hard to put a smile on their face.
Best thing for him is obviously they've said that he possibly could walk again.
Yeah, so he's got feeling in his legs.
That's just wow.
Yeah,
that
amazing. No, I mean, amazing. I thought that was a really nice story for the end of the week. All right, that's it for me, Haye.
That's it, guys. So this is another edition of This Week in Boxing. Loads to talk about. Time might have run, but look, we're outside, we're enjoying, we're having fun. Don't blame us. Don't forget, guys, email us please at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at BoxTalkUK.
Guys, please subscribe as well. Yeah, I always ask, but the numbers are growing, but I want more. We want more. So guys, get your subscribe numbers growing, and thanks for watching another edition of This Week in Boxing.